You're going to eat crap, and you're going to crap thunder. Wait, I messed the quote up. Oh, my gosh. Wow, guys, I literally messed the quote up. I was going to say you're going to eat lightning and crap thunder. Whatever. I mean.
Now the Heat ate crap.
All right, that works for me. Cue the intro.
It's the Rip City Wrap-Up, brought to you by Dick Hanna Subaru. Believe in nice. Here are your hosts, Tyree Smith, Danny Marang, and Joe Simons.
Oh, my goodness.
You're going to eat lightning, you're going to crap thunder. That was from Mickey out of Rocky. I messed it up, though, folks. I messed it up. I'm sorry, but thanks for the help.
No, I got you.
I appreciate you. But the Blazers didn't mess this up. Welcome in to the Rip City Wrap-Up, episode 43. My boys with me, Joe Simons, Danny Marang. This is a great time for us after the Blazers 116-107 victory over, you know those boys, the Miami Heat, led by Anthony Simons with 24 points. First of all, happy Tuesday, fellas. How we doing today?
Happy Tuesday, buddy. We're doing great. The Blazers win. Everyone's feeling good. Look at that start time. You see those games coming up? 4 p.m., 4 p.m., 3 p.m. Blazers win back-to-back games. It's all good, baby. What a time to be alive in Rip City.
Look, even the haters can be like, they need to lose games, but then they see Miami in the schedule. Like, well, they can win that one.
You gotta love it. I know that we're going crazy on social, so make sure to use that hashtag RC Wrap-Up to join in the conversation. See what you're saying about your favorite team that they did not trade Dame to. I know y'all got a lot of baggage about that squad. And they're also my home state, so I could bag on them too. So let's go ahead and do that.
But also, let's move on.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. It's been a couple of years. Let's let it go. Danny, I feel like you exercised some demons at the most recent home game. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
We're all moving
Jimmy
on.
Butler.
It's like catharsis.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
No,
I
I
wasn't
mean-
on the show for that, but that was really nice.
It was insane. Danny sported some emo hair. It was a lot of fun for everyone who was involved, and
I ran into,
I certainly enjoyed it.
An NBA scout coach, great dude. He was like, I saw all the pictures and in the show, and he was like, where did you get that wig? And I was like, brother, that's all natural.
Oh, brother.
Yes,
He's
sir.
like, what did you do? I'm like, my wife just straightened it. He's like, guess you do have a lot of lettuce. And I was like, yeah, that's what we're working with right now. And I got my ode to Pat Riley going right now. It's
Look, boys, the spirit was through the roof tonight. The spirit was high. Dominating. DeAndre is back. All you got to do is dangle some Miami nightlife in front of him, and look how he plays, baby.
I mean, dangle, no taxes, in Miami nightlife, and a certain persuasion of person in front of a young millionaire and see what happens. The only people that don't want to play down there are the people who don't want to participate in the militant culture that is Miami culture.
Wait, you mean like it's not just Pat Riley's charm? There's other reasons why the Heat are able to recruit people there?
Shockingly.
It's weird.
It's a nice city.
It's a beautiful city.
A lack of an income tax on millions of dollars, and then just how attractive everybody is.
Oh, great tweet from our fan, Joe Simons. Nice job, Joe. Thanks for checking in. Use the hashtag RC Wrap-Up to chime in with your thoughts about tonight's game.
Yeah. Real quick, are the Portland Trailblazers off tomorrow?
Let me check the schedule. Uh-oh.
They are.
Uh-oh. The Florida Frog Hop.
Florida Frog Hop, baby.
Oh, my
That's a Marangism.
gosh.
That's a very good
It's not a
Marangism.
Texas
I'm not gonna lie,
two-step.
it's cool.
It's a Florida Frog Hop.
Go ahead, explain it.
You go from Miami to Orlando, Orlando to Miami.
Because typically when you're in Texas and you have the Dallas to San Antonio or Houston, you're playing the Texas two-step.
Or
This
the
is
triangle.
The triangle,
Yeah.
sure. The Florida, speaking of triangle, Genie Bus. Well done.
There you go.
Nice book cover. It's good stuff.
Not bad.
The Blazers played excellent tonight, and I'm excited about it. I could care less about, we got to lose more. I get it. We're going to talk about that later. We're going to debut a brand new segment. We're going to a brand new segment coming up on the show that
Brand new
will
seggy.
deal with that.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of like dangling something in your
I'm
face. low-key.
pleased, guys. Look,
Not dangling.
life is short. You can get hit by a bus tomorrow. The Blazers won a basketball game
Jenny
tonight.
bus?
Any bus. That's good.
Yeah.
Life is
There's
short.
definitely some buses driving around Miami.
This was very, very fun. I enjoyed myself.
Very
It's
real.
nice to see the Blazers put together this kind of effort. Ant was back. DA cared, which is really, really nice to see. And
Interested to see if either of those guys play in the next game.
we'll save Scoot, but it was nice to see Jeremy have a little bit of a return to form. This is the first time since he's come back after the long absence that he's put together a nice game. 5 of 14 from the field, but he did get to the free throw line a bunch, had 18 points, couple
Knocked
of
down
blocks.
some threes.
He was involved.
Yeah, I think
Exactly.
you've seen him kind of work his way back in, and when you miss a couple of weeks, it takes you probably usually a week or so, week 10 days to kind of find your NBA. Everybody's like, well, these guys are in shape. It shouldn't be an issue. It's like, no, there's a difference between being in shape and being in game shape. And when you're out for 3 weeks and you're limited on like contact stuff because you got smacked in the face, then yeah, it's going to take a little while to kind of work your way in. There's been some changes in the lineup. There's been, Shaden's been moved to the bench, and Scoot's been moved up a little bit, and guys have been banged up. And so it's just kind of, reassessing the pecking order. I thought more than his offensive production, I thought defensively he was huge tonight. He was really getting after it. He was really physical. He was aggressive. The interesting part about that, he was joined by DeAndre Ayton. Like, that's the
22
thing.
of 15.
I mean, DA started the game incredibly active and effective and aggressive, and that's the tease of DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah,
and that's
going for those
I see what you
50-50
mean.
balls. It wasn't just I'm going to collect the automatic rebound. It's like I'm actually going to put forth the effort. And when you see that, like you said, it's very, very frustrating because.
And, I mean, he goes 11 of 14 tonight, and one of those is the threes. I mean, he's 11 of 13 on twos. And, again, that's the frustration of DeAndre Ayton, is that I will say this until I'm blue in the face. The only player in the NBA, the only big in the NBA who has better touch than him is Nikola Jokic. That's the enticing part of DeAndre Ayton, is that there was a time when he got doubled down on the block and he just didn't care. He just turned his shoulders and flipped it up and hit a hook that just touched nothing but the bottom of the net. And we're like, oh, right, I forgot he can do that. He steps out, hits the mid-range, pull-up, does it again, gets to the other side, little step through and hook. And you're just like, oh, yeah, that's right. He's really active and graceful and physical when he wants to be. And then there are times when, as you say, his spirit is not quite there. But when it's there, he walks into 15 rebounds and 22 points very effectively, very efficiently. The 15 rebounds is great. The more impressive part is the 6 offensive rebounds, because his offensive rebound rate is not great. It's not bad. But when he came into the NBA his first couple of years, he was a high-level offensive rebounder. And he was actually probably one of the 4 or 5 best rebounders in the NBA. Now, he's still good on the defensive glass when he wants to be. And even when he doesn't want to be, he falls into them, as you've said. But the activity level, that's when you see him have nights like this where he can help dominate the glass.
Yeah, I also think we got to give a little flowers to Anthony, because I always appreciate just how, Brooke asked him at the end of the game, did you feel like, it wasn't the exact question, but essentially like, did you feel like he had to take over? And he didn't say that he did. He kind of alluded to how he was able to rely on a little bit. He led the team with scoring, but he didn't have to. And to win this game, but he did, and I think it's just attributing to more. I see Anthony becoming more of a leader in his own right, not an outright verbal leader, but I can see it more and more in these games that others are having contributed. He's becoming more of a leader in say an Anthony Simons way. That's not always verbal.
Well, and like I was saying to Dan, I think part of that is you see the ascendance of Scoot, and there's a delicate balance between trying to flat out give someone the car keys versus make it a situation where they can succeed. And if Scoot is being put in a position where it's clear that he's going to be the focal point, at least for a certain run of games, it was really nice to see it flip the other way, and for there not to be any animosity or antagonism between, not that I would expect that from Ant or Scoot, but there was no like my turn, your turn. Scoot did a good job of deferring today.
There can be competing agendas, and that's part of a growing process within any team. Miami, Chauncey Billups highlighted it in the press conference post-game. Miami runs more zone than anybody. Scoot can't be as effective against the zone, because they're gonna slide in and they're gonna and this has always been, or not always been. This is the issue, so to speak, of having Scoot Henderson on the floor with someone else, whether it's Shaden or Anthony, and he's off the ball. His defender will help in, they will be at the nail, and it eliminates some of the driving lanes. And so being able to balance that, you have to have Ant knocking down threes, Shaden knocking down threes, Jeremy knocking down threes, because the only way that defense is going to step out, Scoot could have an 8 of 10 night like he did against Brooklyn, and Miami's going to say, go for it. And that's not a shot at Scoot. It's what he has done for 96 games. They are not going to change their game plan on a whim. They're going to come in with their game plan of, you're not a great shooting team. And there was one, Ant hit 1 3, and Spo called a timeout, and you could see him put his hand to his face and go, a word I can't say on TV.
Scratch his back of his head, too.
Yeah, and he was just like, the one guy you can't leave, you helped off of. And it was like, yeah, that's the thing that feeds into this. And when that happens, you saw the defense soften up a little bit because Ant's hitting threes. And now they have to overextend, and now you've got a little bit more room for Scoot. And now Scoot can kind of do his thing. Now Jeremy hits a couple threes. Now the defense extends there. It opens it up on the backside. And you saw Ant be able to work off ball a little bit, Shaedon be able to work off ball a little bit. And it was the first time those guys have been on the floor together where it wasn't detrimental to the team for Scoot to be off the ball for periods of time while other guys were scoring, because for the first time, it was guys hitting shots with him on.
Now, to be clear, that's a compliment that Danny just gave.
It is.
It sincerely is. And you're saying that from a very tactical perspective. I think from a more layman perspective, I would say it kind of like I did leading up to that point, is Scoot deferred.
Yes.
And I think that's
it didn't hurt them.
That's an important part of his maturation, because the story for the Blazers has been Scoot for the last week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
The fan base is excited. Scoot's seeing what on the internet. Scoot's getting a bunch of texts like, hey, man, it's your time. You're taking over. Like, that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to dial it back, he only took 8 shots, but he had 8 assists and 2 turnovers. So he found a way to contribute without chucking, and that is so crucial. And so as good as Ant was tonight, Scoot did an exceptional job of playing the role that was required.
And we got to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about Scoot's performance over the last 4 games and tonight? Use that hashtag RC wrap up. We got to get y'all in the conversation. Let's go ahead and get to our good people at Dick Hanna Subaru first. Joe,
that's
what you
my
got for
cue.
us?
Winter is here, and it's the perfect time to check out the new 2025 Subaru models rolling in every day at Dick Hanna Subaru. Subaru delivers with that lifetime powertrain warranty on every new car. Experience nice. In the car business at Dick Hanna Subaru, believe in nice. Visit them today and see why Subaru is perfect for the season and your next big assist. Oh, it's early, so let's get to Trend B.A.
Oh my gosh, Joe has so much energy
love it.
before 9 o'clock, good people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, David McKay, NBA writer, also works with the Blazers. He said, while we're all happy riding the Scoot Henderson train, let's take a peek at how he currently compares to an original NBA comp. This is 20-year-old Westbrook and 20-year-old Scoot. You see the numbers, 16.9 points per game. They're a little bit on terms of keeping it with the same steals. This is kind of, and well, he ends this with just saying, I think
It's close. It's close.
Yeah, it's very much so saying, give Scoot time. That's what that tweet is saying. Look at his numbers now. Give him some time. I think it's valid, but I also think it's not valid.
Well, Russ is your guy, so I'm curious to hear what you think.
I love Russ. I think it's more so of two different situations, man. It's all you got to look at the situation Russ was brought into, my apologies, and what Scoot was brought into. I will always say this once, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Scoot was brought into a very difficult situation for a guy that can't even buy his own first drink. He was brought into a very difficult situation that, quite frankly, it's kind of paid him backwards because he's not at the level yet to where he will be that number one, that superstar, that one that everybody could look at down the stretch when it's 10 seconds left to take the winning shot. But that's when we're looking for Anthony to do that.
Yeah, I think the other part of this is, I think comparing him to Russ is foolish. Simply
But you
because
can
their
see
game is a
why
little
they
different,
do
no,
it.
I can't though. And that's the thing is because I think he was comped to him.
Danny.
No. Hear me out.
Okay.
He's not that level of athlete.
No, it is.
But that's my point.
Okay.
And that's why you can't comp him to that. Like the whole idea of like him being Russell Westbrook or Derrick Rose, those guys they're different. Like that's not his game. Like him coming into last week, Scoot had 4 total dunk attempts on the season. Like Russell Westbrook was an absolute demon at the rim. And I think that's the difference where it's like, sure, production-wise, I get it. But they're very different. They're going to go about it in different ways. And that's the thing where I want to see the diversification change, to be honest, is Russ was a force unto himself,
Yes.
and that was his game. That is not Scoot.
No.
Scoot needs to be more floor general type. And I think that's a very divergent tree of player.
And I agree with what you're saying, because what Russ does at the rim is one of one. The ferocity with which someone his size attacks the rim, you just don't see. We've never seen it. We might not ever see it again. It's pretty amazing. Scoot, his number one asset is getting to the rim. And that's what it also was with Russell Westbrook. So from that standpoint, I get the comparison.
But they just do it very
They do
differently.
it in vastly different ways.
Russ is put shoulder down,
Yes.
blow past everyone, and then get above the
He
rim.
can silence a crowd with a dunk.
He can still do it now. That's the insane thing. At
So-
35 years old.
So what do you think about that comp? You don't think anything about it is comparable?
I think you could compare some stat lines,
Yeah.
but the unfortunate part about it is you can compare to the other stat lines that aren't there, which is his effectiveness when you're talking about efficiencies. Because that 20-year-old year is Russ's rookie year where he shot under 40% from the field. His effective field goal percentage that year was 41%. And unfortunately, up until really last week, that has been where Scoot has lived. And that's, if you don't have the athleticism and the efficiency isn't there, that's why those things have to be so divergent. Because you have to find the other, because Russ's superpower is get to rim, finish at rim. Like that, it didn't matter what you did. For Scoot so far, his Achilles heel has been finishing at the rim. And he's got to find something. And now, here's the flip side. I have always said that Scoot is going to be a better shooter than Russ ever. Because Russ is historically bad.
That's not the nicest thing you can say
But
about somebody.
But no, also, I've never been worried about Scoot's jump shot. Now, I never said he was going to be a plus shooter.
Right.
But I always said it wouldn't surprise me in the least bit if he's
league average?
Yeah, 36, 37% from three. I don't think that's something that's unapproachable at all. Especially you've noticed over the last couple of weeks, the biggest change has been, Chauncey Billups said in the pregame press conference just the other day, it might have been postgame, I can't remember. But the biggest change has been Scoot calming his jump shot. And that was my biggest criticism. His jump shot isn't broken. It was a leg kick out here, a lean out here. Like there wasn't precision in his jump shot. Like if you watch Dame, you watch CJ, you watch Ant, like you watch all of the
It wasn't as clean.
the good scores that the Blazers have had as shooters recently. Very, very, very similar traits. It's like if you put their jumper every time side by side, it looks exactly the same.
You know what? I just thought of a new segment. We should have the Scoot glass out here, and we should fill it halfway, and then you should take it when it's half empty, and then I can take it when it's half full, and that can be the debate back and forth.
No.
And we can switch roles, too. I think that would be fun. That's exactly it. Yes.
And again, I'm not down on him
Lovely.
for what he's been for the last
Greyjoy.
week plus. It's when you've got 91 games of one thing, and you've got 5
Shea.
games of the other.
I have a cup. I just wanted to bring it up.
That's a starting point for
It's
a
a starting
bit.
point, but this is Shay. This is Shay.
We're working it out
There you
live
go.
on
I
the
like
air,
it.
folks.
So-
This is what
But
we
you
do.
understand where I'm coming from.
Extreme close-up.
Oh yeah. I like when y'all do that. Yeah. Rotate. Look at the manicure. Make it a manicure. Rotate.
Who's the youngest person that got that Wayne's World reference? Like
32.
I think someone who's 29 got that
he didn't
reference.
blink.
If
I know
you're
Wayne World.
if
Don't play
you're
with me.
in your 20s and you know what Wayne's World is,
Why are y'all
reach
playing
out
with me?
on the hashtag RC Wrap Up and let us know what's Garth's last name. Hit us up and we'll say your name on the air. That'll be the reward.
I don't like how y'all age me a lot.
I didn't.
We talk a lot of Scoot
I
age.
did
Y'all be
not-
aging me, man.
I did
I
not
did, to be
include
clear.
you in that conversation. It was
100%.
Danny.
I'm 20.
Absolutely, Danny.
I'm calling myself. I'm 28.
There you go.
I'm not that far from y'all. Well, I turn 28 next month, February 27th. Yeah, it's supposed to be a great month.
I wish we weren't that far apart, Tyree. I wish.
We're really not.
Because you definitely weren't born when that movie came out.
What year was it?
92.
Dream Team. Wayne's
I was
World.
thought about.
Super Nintendo.
It was a good summer, man.
What a time to be
What a
alive,
time to be
dude. Oh my gosh.
Well, you know what? I was in planning.
you were
I am not poo-pooing Scoot here. I am just saying, stop comparing him to a first ballot Hall of Famer.
But Danny,
Crash even harder.
No.
It's like getting caught up in the wins every night. It's the same discussion we had on Sunday.
bro, we're just getting there we go.
There we
We're
go.
I'm
just
sick of y'all.
Zang.
we're just getting excited
gonna go
about
watch
the
after
guy who was drafted third finally doing a thing that we're excited
But see,
about.
that's not the thing, though. That's getting excited, saying he's doing better. Yes, absolutely. Saying he's the same thing as 20-year-old Russell Westbrook is, it's going a little far.
We're cherry picking
The
stats
numbers,
to be
though.
excited.
But that's my point. It's like you can be here. You don't need to be here because if he does it, you crash. And if he's
But
here,
you should just be
it's-
right here.
Yeah,
Why can't we be here?
Here.
I think
Be
there's
in
a
here.
balance. I think there's a balance. We know what's we
That was the
see-
screen grab for tonight, by the way. I know on YouTube it's just going to be a bunch of hands like this. Scoot Henderson, it succeeds again? Question mark? That's what it's going to be.
Well, I mean, bro,
I'm happy for the kid.
No,
You
I
have
am
to be.
100%. I am.
Two
And
sides of the coin, man.
11-8 doesn't jump off the page, but all of the intrinsic things.
This is an important night. It
I'm
shows he
more
can
interest-
defer.
Yes, I'm more interested in that. I'm more that
You're here for the articles.
No, that
Yeah.
underscores that he's getting.
I get it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So then, let me ask you, Danny, what will it take for you to be here about Scoot?
The rest of the season being like
This season?
yes,
So if he continues the rest of this season,
yes. Like again,
39.
I'm going to sound like Debbie Downer, or
39
Danny Downer,
more.
whatever you want it to be. He has 91 games besides those last, or 92 games outside of the last 5.
Right.
Okay. How many of those 92 games did you see something there where you went, "That's it"? 3, maybe 4 times.
A year ago from last Monday where he had that 39 points against Brooklyn, and the last time he had 30 points
So basically,
was...
you take out
Yeah.
the last week. How many times have you seen that? 3 or 4, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have 90 games,
Right.
more than an entire season of subpar performance.
Yes.
Okay.
Go on.
I'm going to need to see a lot to.
Anyone is actually throwing out the data.
throw
I'm
it
just
out.
saying.
I would say a lot of people
It's
are.
a beautiful sun. It was a beautiful sun. It's an early game. The Blazers kicked the hell out of Miami. Scoot was good again. At
Yeah.
a minimum, he was good again. This is an exciting,
And
noteworthy
I have-
development
I have
to
zero
continue
caveats.
to keep track of.
Zero caveats. Like that's all I have said tonight is he did the right things.
Yeah.
He read the game the right way.
Sure.
He deferred when he needed to. He didn't force the action. Like how many times tonight did he do something where you went, eh? Like even the turnovers, they weren't loud.
Right.
Like that shows real growth. Like
But it's getting to the point where I'm looking at Scoot as a defensive lapse or a turnover. It stands out more because it's not the norm. It's now the exception.
that's the thing that you want to look for.
All right, Beerman, my boy. Oh, we love you, my man.
What's up,
We love
Jesse?
you. Yes, sir. Comparing Scoot to Russell Westbrook feels the same as generational talent. No one in any other draft, not your average 19-year-old, et cetera, et cetera. Just let him be.
Yeah, I think the front office probably did him a disservice.
I told
with how
y'all.
they- with how they talked about him in the
I
draft.
told
And I get
y'all.
it because the whole world thought that's what he was going to be.
Well, you had the one play against Vic, and there's a thing that you can point to and say, okay, this is what he's going to be. And also, it's unfortunate, but where you are drafted in your sport,
It matters.
follows you the rest of your career.
Unfortunately,
it just
it
does.
does.
I mean, every time Nikola Jokic plays, we hear about how he was, drafted 41st overall during
They were playing a Taco
Taco
Bell
story.
commercial.
specifically a Quesarito commercial. Like, because I don't think it's a thing that exists at Taco Bell anymore. Like that's the
no.
thing. Like, it's so dumb.
They don't.
The producer
Thank
telling
you.
me they don't. So there
It's
you go.
great work behind the scenes,
Yeah,
guys.
love it.
Thank you.
But
no
like-
research needed to get that
Oh, no,
information.
he's
That
there.
was
They
clearly,
do it.
that was
Yeah.
clearly
Hey,
producer
good
Danny's
man. Danny,
favorite-
how do you know that?
favorite
Can you
menu
tell us
item.
how do you know
They
that?
don't have it anymore. They were his favorite.
All
There
right,
we go.
well, there you go.
But that's kind of my point. Like Draymond Green, like those are the 2 best second-round picks ever.
Sure.
And I
And,
don't like-
the third was sick tonight for the Portland Trailblazers.
Babe.
Giovanni Kamara.
And again, shout out to Trailblazers for playing the way they did.
Yes.
Pucker factor getting to 1 million in the final
That fourth
minutes.
quarter, well, because I kept saying to Danny, they got this. They
And
got this.
and I kept going, you sure?
They got this?
I was,
And then it was at 3 minutes, and it got down to 10, and I went, are you positive?
Tyree
went
had to
on-
do the news hit.
I went
Yeah,
on air.
yeah.
Yeah. So between the time of the game ending and our K2 show going on at 6, right? I go out there, and in my head, I'm thinking it's about what was it, 15?
Yeah, we
20,
got it
20?
wrapped up. It's all
Exactly.
good. Did you
Going
say
down
that
to
they're
the
going to win
studio.
on the air at 6? You did?
Oh,
No,
God. you put
okay.
that out?
No.
I love that.
What I did say
So you
was,
have been
I
here
was
that
like-
long, Tyree. You know not to say that ahead
I
of time.
said this looks interesting.
I may or may not have tweeted
I like
out
that.
something I would have had to eat a lot of crow over, but
Oh.
it happens.
The tweet.
Yeah.
We can't talk about the
No,
tweet.
we can, but we just can't say what it says.
Or show you.
Put all your thoughts into a piece of paper, set it on fire, and set it free, Dan.
Listen, folks, I'll give you a quick story. When I was hired here back last year, November of 2024 or 2023.
Three.
Wow, I'm tweaking,
Dude,
y'all.
time flies. Yeah.
Time blending in, man. Like my colors on my jacket. But seriously.
That was funny.
Go on.
Thanks, man. Thank you. But seriously, when I was coming here and everybody was like, "Oh, I'm going to Portland," or "Oh, Scoot,
Yeah.
you got Scoot," and I'm like, even at that moment, I had to do a little more research and dumping on Scoot, and I was like, I understand a little bit. They did a disservice. Everybody did, because the hype even went all the way to Miami talking about Scoot. Put that amount of pressure on somebody that hasn't played a real NBA game, that hasn't played a college game, that, dunked over Victor Wembanyama. But what type of real substance, type of balance that you can go through when you're drafting him, looking at him like, all right, he's that against Dan Hurley's UConn Huskies. You can't do none of that. And that's the disservice that they did to Scoot. That's just why I don't blame him, man.
Well, I mean, it happens, and it's one of those things done in hindsight, because everybody thought that those three guys, Victor Wembanyama, Brandon Miller, Scoot Henderson, were, Himothy. That's what it was. Now, in reality,
that Wade, Melo, LeBron type of thing.
I mean, but also, like, Victor should have only been the only one getting that. He's very clearly that guy. I mean, right now he's the best defensive player on the planet as a second-year player. We've never seen that before. And it's the kind of thing that really should only be bestowed like once a generation. And now we might have that guy in this draft in Cooper Flagg. Like,
save it.
I'm just saying, no, I'm not going there yet.
Okay.
I'm saying,
I was going to say, it's not on the list yet.
Not yet.
I'm just saying, you might have that, and like I feel more comfortable with me personally saying, now he's not Victor Wembanyama, but do I think he's going to be a generational talent day one? Yes, I do. And I'm like, well, haven't you learned your lesson from last year? I'm like, no, I genuinely believe that. I think this man is a psychopath of epic proportions. But when you go back through all of the drafts, like how often that actually happens, it's significantly less.
Who was I going? I was going through number 1 overall picks with somebody recently, and I can't remember who it was. Sorry if you're watching. I think they were in the office. And, you're operating at about a 60% clip of generational talent, future Hall of Famer, or Anthony Bennett. Like, that's kind of the clip of where you are.
Real quick. Here's
Rip through the century.
Just going
Danny's
backwards.
going to read names. Here we go.
Zachary Rizachet, nope. Wemby, yes. Paolo Banchero, yes. Cade, yes. Anthony Edwards, yes. Zion Williamson, yes. DeAndre Ayton, no. Markelle Fultz, no. Ben Simmons, no.
Zion, yes, huh?
Markelle Fultz,
no.
Whoa, what a name.
I would say Zion was, but
okay.
Like the talent was very clear and impactful.
His talent is
and you
still
can say the
there
same thing
if
about
he
Ben
gets it right.
Simmons.
Okay.
Before
Keep going. I'm sorry. Keep going. I love when you do
Karl
this.
Anthony Towns,
Yes.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins,
No.
Anthony Bennett, no. Anthony Davis, yes. Kyrie, yes. John Wall, yes. Injuries got him.
I agree.
I don't like that one.
But that's fine.
Really?
No.
Blake Griffin, yes.
right.
Yes.
Derrick Rose,
Blake,
yes.
Yep.
Greg Oden, I would say yes.
We love you, Greg.
Andrea Bargnani, no. Andrew Bogut, yes. Dwight Howard, yes.
Wait, okay. Well, now I'm confused the game we're playing, because what game are we playing that Andrew Bogut is yes?
He was he? I swear to God, he had a Defensive Player of the Year, didn't he?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm talking about like guys like
who did a thing.
who like lived up to like.
Okay.
Andrew Bogut, like I know he.
No, I know.
the
He was
later
a
Bogut
very
in the
solid
Warriors,
player.
but
Wait.
He was.
that Milwaukee team, he was very good.
Yeah.
He said no to John Wall.
Yeah, I know. We'll revisit
Yeah.
real quick.
Okay, cool.
Dwight Howard, yes. LeBron, yes. Yao, yes. Kwame Brown, no. Kenyon Martin, no.
Coin flip.
Objective.
Coin flip.
Yeah.
Hall of really good.
Yeah. And that's where John Wall is.
Ooh, I'd push back on
Hall of Famer? John Wall, Hall of Famer.
that. I think he would have been on that trajectory had he not gotten hurt.
I don't see how you don't see that.
I could be wrong.
I mean,
He
it's not
was
that I
literally-
don't see that, but that didn't happen.
I'm-
Are we talking about reality, or are we talking about, like...
he's a 5-time All-Star.
Again, I still don't know what game we're playing, but I'm excited to learn.
Just join.
I'm
He's
excited
a
to learn.
5-time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA.
It's a yes and exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he
Okay.
had multiple seasons of basically 20 and 10.
Okay. Well, there's the line that you always have to eclipse when it comes to these all-time great discussions.
Richmond.
And there it is right there.
I knew it. I promise y'all, folks. I'm gonna turn to my right, and he's gonna be Dougie. Danny,
It is Mitch Richmond.
Producer Danny, I love you, man. Thanks for doing that.
7, maybe?
This is rookie year,
Rookie year.
so 2010?
Okay.
2010? There are two people who've done the Dougie better than John Wall. Luke Babbitt and Kate Upton.
I knew one of them was going to be Mrs. Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
Can y'all Dougie? Can you?
No.
And hey,
I
by
don't-
the
I
way-
don't move like that anymore.
Shout out to Ichiro and Pound Sand. I got to get this in clear.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Pound Sand, whomever the sports writer is, who decided not to put Ichiro in the Hall of Fame in the first ballot because you're some sort of weird gatekeeper for the best baseball player in the history of one of the most important baseball countries in the world, Ichiro Suzuki. You suck, and I don't like you.
He's not wrong.
He's not talking about Ichiro that you suck. He's talking
No,
about the person
Ichiro
that
is
did.
the man. Ichiro is the coolest.
I think that's
Ichiro did more. When did he come over here? 20
01.
So I was saying he was
Yeah.
28.
You're right.
Did more like prior to being 28 in
Right.
the Japanese Baseball League than basically everyone ever does in baseball.
And Ichiro has the
His second half of his
He
career
has the Michael
was
Jordan
better.
thing where there's this whole cottage industry of mystery around him, right? Where it's like Ichiro could hit 50 home runs a year. He chooses not to. And then you'd watch him take BP and just clear it into the second deck whenever he wanted to.
Just hit dingers everywhere.
Just leaving the batter's box before he even makes contact with the ball. An incredible athlete baseball player. Again, a one-of-one
My
guy.
favorite clip is like 42-year-old Ichiro in Japan where they set up the trash can like up against the fence.
Yes.
And it's like a 400-foot throw.
And he whips it in there?
And he just puts it in the trash can. No warm-up, no nothing, just fires. Like, the idea that somebody can throw a baseball that far alone is insane. The idea that somebody that small can do it, but somebody that small and to be that accurate, and then he has another one where they stand up the baseball bats.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he,
dude.
And he hits them from the outfield.
Right.
Knocks each
Almost
bat
like a
down.
serve practice in tennis.
Yeah,
tall
and
is
it's
he?
like,
Ichiro, I bet he is like the mean of us. Let's see.
So 6 foot.
No, this is the alternate title of this show
Why
is
are you
Short
laughing?
Kings. Okay. He's 5'11", too tall for a man. Sorry, Ichiro.
Oh no, that's
Too
right.
tall
That's
for a
that's
man.
right where we at. Why are you doing this? That's
You got to own your height. You got to own it.
well, Joe, he's 5'11" in cleats.
You know the most insecure person about their height? A really tall person. Because if they see a really tall person, they shrink. If you're 5'8", like me, everyone's tall, so it doesn't really make a difference at a certain point. That's the way I look at it,
you need to
Tyree.
start telling people we're 6 foot. I'm so serious.
Why?
You
I'm not
have
going to
to-
misrepresent myself on television.
Why
I know,
not?
I know I look like a 6'4" Greek god up here, folks, but I'm just 5'8". I'm just a regular guy. If you see me at Glendevere Golf Course or down the road at the local market, say hello. Let's talk Blazers.
Well, Stephen A does it all the time. That hairline is fake. He does it all the time. If they can do it, we can too. But you know what's not fake?
Tell me.
Our love for non-alcoholic beverages. Right?
Oh, my gosh, Tyree. Now, we all know the game's over, but the night is just getting started. Look at this wonderful early hour. Let's talk about keeping those good vibes going with Best Day Brewing, the fastest growing non-alcoholic craft beer brand. It's the ultimate post-game play. We get to enjoy a great beer without worrying about tomorrow. I don't even know what day it is because let's face it, celebrating tonight's win doesn't need alcohol. So fans, make every day your best day. Find your nearest Best Day Brewing at bestdaybrewing.com. It's time for Trend BA. What do we got here?
Let's go ahead.
I need water.
Let's go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead, brother. Bring it back. To the tag board. Tag board, baby. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this. A little bit of trade involving our boy Robert Williams, but it may not actually happen. Evan Slender, he was reporting that the Rockets and the Trailblazers recently conducted exploratory trade talks centered around Robert Williams III. Now, Houston is openly shopping Jock Landale's non-guaranteed multi-year contract in order to upgrade their front court. Portland has strong interest from contenders on Williams. I'm going to state this before Danny goes crazy. I think he's become way too valuable of a piece. Not as a player, as just himself, but as Portland moving forward for them to actually get rid of Robert Williams. I think he looks too good in his uniform. He's had such a balance with his team.
Anytime you can get Jock Landale, you got to do it, guys.
Oh, I have been told and continue to be told that the Portland Trailblazers value Robert Williams III and are not in any hurry whatsoever to trade him away. Now, with that being said,
Oh, here we go.
no.
You didn't say but.
With that being said, if they are overwhelmed by an offer, I think they would listen.
Really?
But I do not believe that they are in any way, shape, matter, or form
Yeah.
interested in trading Robert Williams III.
And stacking up more second-round picks is not overwhelming.
No, and look,
Here's more mid. Enjoy.
And look, there's obviously a relationship between the Trailblazers and the Suns. Kevin conducted business, and that matters. Like, that always matters. The Suns have been busy today, in fact. But as it pertains to the Rockets, I don't see a world that exists where Jacques Landale, Jay-Sean Tate, and some second-round picks get it done. Now, throw in Jabari Smith Jr. or possibly Cam Whitmore. The Blazers are going to listen.
Now, Cam makes it interesting.
Jabari's the one who makes it interesting. There's a reason Cam fell.
Would Houston be willing to part with anything serious?
If they actually want him,
Bari
sure.
or Cam, like that's a real conversation.
I don't think they would, but if that's...
I don't think they would either.
Because, I don't think the Blazers are in any hurry to deal with Robert Williams III at all. And it would cost either a premium first-round pick, and again, not a top 3 pick, but like a top 10 protected pick, which, again, that's a good pick, not a back end. Like, they value him. And I mentioned this on Sunday, the idea of the Blazers front office. In talking to people that have had discussions with the Blazers front office, the one thing that they have all maintained is the Blazers have a set price on their players and the way they value other players.
So they got the whiteboard.
Yeah. So they've got their own
worth what?
Their own players, and they've got what they think other players in the NBA.
Sure.
That's common. That's everybody in the league does that. Everybody who's mildly effective does that. Now, the way that they valued Denny Avdia last year was 2 firsts, the second, and Malcolm Brogdon's salary.
By the way, I'm going to pause real quick. I want to get back to this Robert Williams conversation, but I think something that we need to acknowledge, and I know everyone's like, oh, here's Blazer State media again saying good things about the front office. Guess what? The Blazers made a move for probably the best Portland Trailblazer this season, Denny Avdia. So just got to get that out there. I had that thought. That was a hell of a good move. I'm excited to have Denny. Blazer State media. It's how I feel. This is what I would say if we were at the bar talking.
Look,
so there you go.
You can go read the tweet when he got traded. I called it they traded for the best contract, non-rookie scale contract in the NBA. I haven't changed my mind.
Yeah.
No matter how slow he started the season, I like Denny.
No
Avdia.
Blazer fan could think that's a bad move.
No.
You may not like what's happening overall, but that's in itself is a good move. I digress.
Yes. But the Blazers value player X at this and player Y at this. And if you meet their valuation and there's a deal to be done that makes sense for you, they'll do the deal. Like, that's continually what I have been told by people who've had discussions with the Trailblazers front office. Like, I've mentioned this before. Like, Danny Ainge the perfect example. Danny Ainge conducts a trade today during the game where there are first-round picks, 3 first-round picks, the Jazz sent to the Phoenix Suns for their 1 unprotected 2031 picks. Well, why would you say they would do 2 or 3 for 1? Because those 3 are the least favorable of Minnesota, Cleveland, and Utah.
Let's bring up that tack board if we get it ready. It was going to be our Trimbier, but we're talking about it now.
So explain what least favorable means.
It means when the lottery comes or the picks come out of it, what it essentially says is the least favorable, the lowest value of those picks. But so let's say the Cleveland Cavaliers finish first in the NBA. It's the 30th pick. Minnesota finishes 20th. Utah finishes 12th. Well, then they get the Cavs pick, the least favorable. That is the 30th, the highest number pick. What they're betting on is Cleveland being very good over the next couple of years.
Good bet.
Which, Minnesota,
At least from what
even
we've
though they're a
seen.
little dysfunctional, you're betting on Ant being what he
The
can
face
be.
of Sprite,
okay?
absolutely.
And don't be wrong, Minnesota can falter because Lord knows they have faltered with star play. Kevin Garnett, anybody? No? Okay.
Julius, oof.
They're going to get a wash on
Jimmy
that.
Butler?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
let's go down the list. Kevin Love, I mean, we can keep going.
Stephon.
Yeah, I mean,
Gosh, that Kevin Love.
it's tough, but that's kind
Sam
of my point.
Cassell. Okay, I'm done. Okay.
That's
Does
my
Cat
point.
count?
Like you can talk yourself into it, and by then Utah's got 53 wins in a season because Danny Ainge has somehow lucked into Cooper Flagg and AJ DeBonta in the same season or in back-to-back drafts, and now they're a super team, a la the Boston Celtics from this generation. And
So,
you're like,
comporting himself in a respectful way with
oh no,
some
no,
of
no.
these deals.
I mean, he's absolutely disrespectful. That man is the devil incarnate. He has sold his soul to win every single deal.
But
And
how happy?
now there's the flip side.
Not always productive.
Every deal that ever doesn't happen, Danny was right there.
Sure.
He was right there. He finished
Right.
second,
Yeah.
But that's part of the trade-off. But he won on Jason Tatum. He won on Jaylen Brown. He was able to find some gems around here. He gets Al Horford. Like, he helped build that team, and then you hand it over to Brad Stevens and you go win a title. He gets to Utah, and basically he was tasked with the same thing: tear it down, build it back up. And I had some Phoenix Suns fan who was like, what have the Jazz done in the last 4 years in the draft? Well, they haven't sucked enough to draft well. They've been mediocre. Now they are steering into that skid, and they're headed towards the top 3 pick in this draft. Now the draft lottery will decide their ultimate fate, but they're going down that path, and they're betting on unprotected picks, because if the Phoenix Suns are what they are, what we all think they're going to be in 2031, that pick could be
Yeah, like this is a piece that they have to get in place.
And there might be a world where the Miami Heat are so stuck and Beal is – I've heard two different versions of this. There might just be a 1-to-1 deal with Miami and Phoenix. And the Heat might be stuck taking Bradley Beal back, but they're going to get draft picks. And but that's the thing is, the Suns aren't going to be able to keep those picks. It's not like those are going in their coffer. They made that trade to facilitate a Butler deal. Now, there's also another version of this where Brad Beal goes to Milwaukee, which I doubt because not to get too behind the scenes,
Yeah.
but Brad Beal's wife is from the West Coast. That's part of the reason why he went to Phoenix. Going to Milwaukee or Detroit, not exactly the same level of enticement. Look, I'm just...
Phoenix is more fun than the upper
Milwaukee?
Midwest in January.
Yeah, no.
It's nice. But it's
The big slide.
I love it. I love it. I was in that market for a
Yeah.
little bit. I love it. Good
No,
gracious,
don't get me
it's
wrong.
bone chilling cold.
No, it's
I believe
It's a
that.
different kind of cold. That Arctic jet stream comes down and gets you. But yeah, no, this is the move before the move, as they like to say. But Danny Ainge doesn't do deals that he not only doesn't feel like he wins, that he doesn't stomp somebody's soul out on the way out the door. Like that's just how he operates. It's how it goes.
Well,
And I don't know why teams continue to do business with Danny Ainge. I genuinely, I'm joking, but I'm also dead serious.
But it feels like he pulls their underwear out of their shorts and gets their milk money,
bullies
Yes.
a little bit.
Yeah, he shakes them dry.
and then gives them noogies on the way
Yeah,
out.
no, he does. Look,
I
go
wouldn't
back
wanna
through
do a
his
deal with him.
transaction history. That man doesn't lose deals. Like the 13th rung of hell is filled with bodies that Danny Ainge has collected over the years. It's impressive. I'm not gonna lie, but also that's cutthroat, man. Like he praised.
It's not show friends, it's show business.
I know.
Bob Sugar, what
Look,
are we
I
talking
get it.
about here?
There is no one in the NBA that preys on weakness.
Ironic.
Terrifying and complimentary.
Well,
manner.
that's so ironic because I feel like that is right in your wheelhouse.
It is to
Praying
an
and feasting on the weak.
It
Danny
is to an
Marang.
extent, but I've gotten softer. You know,
You
I'm-
actually have gotten softer in your old age.
Yeah, I have.
I don't know because you don't want to know something. This is my first season with both of these fellas, so I think Danny's just this way normally. You got film of the back in the old days.
The longer the hair gets, the more chill he gets.
That's actually kind of the vibe.
Did
Yeah.
you plan on cutting that anytime soon?
Please no.
No, I mean, well, we'll go full rage spiral when I cut it off for sure.
Let's go ahead and keep
We'll
it
do like a
long then.
Viking knot or
Is
something.
there-
bring,
is there
bring,
like a-
bring the rage back.
How about, can we do a Scoot related thing that would get you to cut your hair off?
What do you mean?
Like, let's say he's interested.
Well, look,
boy.
I'm always interested in some
Let's
kind of
say,
bid or bet.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to set the bar incredibly high. Scoot has to average 25 or more post All-Star break. And you lose the hair.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, no, I gotta. That's too. No, that's too hard.
I don't know. He's going to be taking a lot of shots.
I was gonna say he has to have two 30-point games after the All-Star break.
Oh, that's
That's way
Yeah,
easier.
are you kidding me?
He's gonna have.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
How many teams
Oh.
are tanking
Oh.
post All-Star break?
Oh,
that's
sorry.
Why, that's why numbers post All-Star
No,
break
not that
are,
one.
My bad,
This
homie.
one.
Yeah. No, numbers post All-Star break around the NBA, no front
That's why I
office
gave
buys
you
them.
25.
Yeah, like 25 that's a big number.
I'm being generous.
Yeah, that's a big number. Yeah.
Bet?
Yeah, we can probably do
Okay,
that.
so as soon as actually, no, we can't do that because we got to make your hair look silly on the show this season. We can't come back next season with the silly hair.
I don't know. I like this.
We'll find something.
We'll tweak it. We'll
Yeah.
find it. There'll be a
Alright.
bet where we can, poke at Marang, which is always going to be
no.
fun.
Let's go ahead and do
It
that.
was not the first time you've actually cut my hair on live TV.
That's true.
He
Yeah,
shaved
I
my
shaved
head.
his head.
What are y'all?
I can't remember.
Y'all
that bet.
archives are interesting.
That was another bet.
That was another bet.
I can't remember
It was
what
an
it was.
over-under. I think it was an over. Actually, I remember exactly
it
what
was an over.
It was the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I missed it, but wasn't it like a game?
You missed it by a couple of games, and we did it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And we may have been at a alcoholic beer facility.
Yeah.
When we made that bet, so that was probably involved as
Yeah,
well.
probably right.
Yeah.
You would have had a clear head if only you were drinking Best Day Brewing,
Mm.
Danny. That's what you should have been drinking, and you would have made a better decision.
Is that what it was?
And you would have felt better the next day. Best Day Brewing. Find Best Day Brewing at local retailers. BestDayBrewing.com.
Oh, I thought you were doing a whole other man.
They're our friends.
They are our friends.
Yeah.
Dick and the Subaru is also our friends.
Oh, you know what time of year it is? Winter.
Oh,
It's here, guys. Yeah,
Well,
it's
let's
the
talk about
perfect
it.
time
it's a good time to have hair.
to check out. Oh, long hair really helps right now, folks. It's the perfect time to check
never
out
cut my
Marang's hair and the new 2025 Subaru models rolling in every day at Dick and Subaru with their lifetime powertrain warranty, you'll always have peace of mind, Tyree. Whether you're dishing out assists or tackling that daily drive, Subaru's got your back. Experience nice in the car business with Dick Hanna Subaru. Believe in nice. Swing by today and see why a Subaru is the MVP of the season.
Oh, Joe, it's your time. It's your time to shine. I'll let you take it away, man.
Is it here, folks?
No.
We have a brand new segment premiering right now. The Blazers are winning. Uh-oh, it's time for Capture the Flag!
Hey!
Where we track the Blazers' progress in trying to get the #1 pick. So here's where it sits right now.
Oh, no, they're outside the picture.
They're outside the graphic because of too much success.
Danny could not wait.
There they are. Okay, so right now your Blazers have a 7.5% chance of obtaining the #1 pick and the opportunity to draft one Cooper Flag.
Duke's own. Interesting.
As much as the win tonight.
Yeah, let's put that back up there.
The win tonight feels good. There's a reason why you want to be in that top 5.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at that top 5, and
Well, here's the thing. You're not catching the Wizards. They are uncatchable.
Correct.
They're just that bad.
The level of suck that they are at is unfathomable.
I guarantee the
funny.
Blazers finish lower than the Pelicans. The Pelicans are going to be in a
Pels are
weird
gonna win
spot.
games.
They're going to win games.
No, I mean, CJ's back, DeJounte Murray, Trey Murphy.
They're going to be
Zion.
so annoying for teams down the stretch.
I mean, they are because they can't shut them all down because they're so injured.
Well, they tried to lose last night, and then CJ scored like 45
He had
points.
32 points in the second half of
Yes.
overtime. They were down 20. It was the biggest comeback in Pelicans history. They were down 25
And I think
to the Pelicans.
342 people saw it live.
Yeah.
I
And
think that
again,
was about the number.
The other
Was that
team,
it?
I think that was about it.
the other
342.
team the Blazers are not catching is the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
Even though they're not #2 right now, they will be #2 when this is all said and done. They are. We talked about Danny Ainge the last couple of years not having high draft picks. They are not about that life this year. They are. John Collins has been sat down.
Can we get that back up, Danny V? I want to look at a couple of the other
Jordan
ones.
Clarkson is somebody they would give away for a stack of pancakes.
So-
Toronto's going to win some games. Utah might go winless.
Brooklyn is weird too. Brooklyn can score at times.
They're selling out, but they're still Jordy Fernandez has got them playing a style that gets so many shots up that they can win a game or two.
So at this point, to me, if you can get
You want 4 or 5.
exactly,
just
if you
just
can get in
bottom
at
5.
10%,
Yeah.
I think you're going to feel good about things.
4, good on you. If you can
Okay.
get 4, get on you. But I don't.
Look at the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah.
What is going
Which
on in that city?
That pick is top 6 protected.
Oh.
So if it doesn't land in the top 6 in the lottery, it goes to OKC.
That's insane.
Oklahoma City.
Imagine them getting the #7 pick.
Oklahoma City could have the #7 pick, and it's just absolutely
And
filthy.
a stacked draft.
Yeah,
That's an interesting.
it's absolutely nasty.
So they could win the title and then pick a legitimate kid to come to add to that squad.
How y'all feel about that win tonight, y'all folks?
I'm fine with it.
You're fine with it?
Absolutely.
Okay, talk about it from a fan perspective. Take a step back, take a seat, grab a head, that best day
Look,
non-alcoholic beer.
that's right.
What are you feeling?
I can speak with a clear head.
Go ahead.
I think this is absolutely fine. It's one game. There are some teams that you're just not in a position to catch. And if you can get into that top 4 or 5, I don't think getting in the top 3 is realistic at this point. I don't think it was before winning these back-to-back games. I think there are teams that are really going out of their way and over the top to tank it away that Portland is. And as someone who has covered this team for a while now, is do not rely on the tank for happiness. I'm just going to continue to say that till I'm blue in the face. Because even the Wizards, who are having a dreadful season.
abysmal.
They might set the NBA
Wizards
record for fewest
fans
wins.
would love to have tonight.
Yeah.
Even with the
They got the
14.4%
Commanders. They're
chance,
happy.
that's a very valid point.
I'm about to say
That's
they
a
do
very
not
valid
care
point.
about whatever Washington Wizards.
They have not watched
got going on.
basketball this entire season.
No,
But
I was just there. They don't care.
But dude, there's a reason they don't care, and it's because they don't have the 6-36 right now. I'm not saying that the Blazers should rip off 8 in a row. I just think it's important to have these moments interspersed with the tank that allow you to feel excited about your club, excited about Scoot. You see Denny come out there, grab 10 rebounds and have 5 assists. We barely talked about the guy tonight. We're seeing some development with this squad, getting a few wins. And if you can sneak into that top 4, top 5, get that 12%, 10% chance at Cooper Flag, it's a successful season. Like the whole notion that if you get 2 or a 4% higher chance of getting the number 1 pick, that is the line of demarcation of a successful season, I think is an incredibly dangerous narrative.
It matters
because it's throwing a season away.
It's also, it matters in hindsight. Because once the lottery, I've had people who get mad about a win or whatever happens and structured at game 38. And I've said the same thing over and over again. Check back after lottery results. Like, it's that simple. Check back after the lottery results because it's all up to basketball gods. And I've kind of teased having the ethical guide to Cooper Flag landing spots. And I've landed on New Orleans can't, because they've ruined generational prospects recently, twice, in Zion and AD.
I know the answer.
You can't send him to Canada. You can't send a guy named the Main Event to a second-rate country.
I
not allowed.
completely disagree. I think Toronto is an awesome landing spot for him.
Yes, that is Toronto's a great spot. You know what really does well is a superstar in Canada. It's like almost like, oh wait, every single one of them is left because they have to pay a 54% tax rate. They're up there in the cold and they hate life.
Is that what the tax rate is?
Yes, it's brutal.
It's good, Danny.
No, it's
I
a
love it.
destination
Toronto
that-
is a major
that is
North
a-
American city. What the hell do I care how many taxes Cooper Flag is
No,
paid?
he does.
I don't care.
He does.
I understand.
Why banish a generational talent to Canada where we never get to see
because
him?
you can rule a
Wait
country,
now.
bro. You can rule a country.
He's not
When
playing
Nick
hockey.
Nurse
They don't
was
care.
there, they got a lot of national coverage.
No, when Kawhi was there for 6 months, then they cared.
But think about afterwards.
I don't. Who is that?
Hey.
I don't even recognize
Yeah,
that
where
guy.
did he go?
That
He
is
went to the Nets of New
22
Jersey.
Yeah, did he leave?
seasons.
Tracy McGrady. He leave?
Cowards all.
Chris Bosh. Did he leave? The only thing that they ever kept and retained was a
Forgot about
washed
him.
Hakeem Olajuwon. Congratulations.
There's no reason to do a drive-by on one of the greatest centers of all time in this conversation.
No, I mean, that's what it was. Like,
all you kids, you forget
think-
about Hakeem Olajuwon. He's one of the greats. Just Google Dream Shake and watch it for like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Just do it.
but again, like
in like 5 minutes.
Danny, that's wild.
And
Not now.
Utah can't have him because
kinda
they're going to
wild.
get AJ DeBonsa. Like I mean, for those that don't want to aware, he's at BYU, and Danny Ainge and Ryan Smith, who are the general manager and owner of the Utah Jazz, they may or may not have been part of a huge NIL collective that got AJ DeBonsa to go to BYU because they're donors.
Oh,
You allowed to say
I
that?
get it.
See? Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, glass houses and stones, Danny. We're in Portland right now, you know.
Like what?
Yeah.
Wait, what just
What
happened?
does that mean?
Well, you have the kid for BYU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm confused.
Well, just because he's white?
Yes.
Well, AJ's not. We said Cooper is, and to be fair,
Cooper.
look, Cooper Flag's
What is this
jersey in
conversation?
Portland would go 10 times. That jersey would populate.
There he is.
Yeah. In case
All right.
anybody forgot
Great
what he
job.
looked like,
Alex
real
made that.
quick.
Nice job, Alex.
That man
flipping that
would
around
be,
so quick.
Oh my God! Like the lunch pail, hardworking, first guy in, last guy out, coach's favorite. You find every
Gym rat.
Portland dads all
every
around?
white guy euphemism would be just jacked up to the gills.
Yeah, floor IQ, all that.
How tall
Oh,
is
yeah.
Coop?
Nonsense.
He's 6'8".
6'8"?
Oh yeah, no, and he's a dumb crazy athlete.
You think he
Like,
get it mobbed
And he's
at Motor Center if
mean.
he
I
came
love how
outside?
mean he
He's
is.
a psychopath.
He's nasty.
No, and he went to
On
Duke,
the
so
court.
you know he'll
Not
slap
off the court. Off the court, he's a really nice kid.
No, he'll slap. the
I don't
floor.
know anything about him off the court. He could be a jerk, but he knows how to play basketball great.
Well, you watch interviews, he seems like a really nice guy.
I'll be
Is he?
fair.
Is he a good kid? To be truth be told, I've not seen a lot of interviews. with him.
I've spent a bunch of time with him at Hoop Summit. He's
Yeah.
a good.
Is he a nice kid?
Yeah, he is.
That's good.
He's raised right.
Good.
And also his connection to Donovan Clan. Both their parents, both their moms played at Maine. For those wondering, that's
Yeah.
Block Lobster of what he keeps trying to make
Block
it thing.
Lobster. What is wrong with you people? It's not a bad nickname. I love these early starts. It's so much better.
Oh, it's because he has energy because he should be in bed in about 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, not tonight. We're staying up till 10.
Oh,
Really?
watching
I
watching
can't
a
just.
replay of game
I'm
shows?
too hyped. I can't just go to bed. No, usually it's a little Friends. You know, some mindless entertainment as we
Oh,
scroll in
you're
the
a
background.
Friends watcher.
I'm not. Okay, that's a really. You.
I'm because there's a lot with that statement
It's
you
just
made.
no. It's just a dumb '90s sitcom. It's a good thing to put on in the background.
You think Cooper Flag would watch that?
Cooper Flag could tell you all 6 Friends. I guarantee it.
I guarantee he can't.
I'll tell you what. If he gets picked and you interview him, you have to ask him that question. Name all 6
Deal.
friends.
I mean-
Deal? We haven't recorded.
White guy
Deal.
from Maine.
Of course he can.
I mean,
yeah. That's like saying name the Beatles.
yeah, well,
I don't believe
I
that.
can't.
I just don't believe.
You can't name the friends? I don't
no,
believe
no,
you.
no, Beatles.
Could you name the friends?
Yeah.
Could you name the friends?
I should be able to, but I can't. I'm gonna go ahead with my age on this one. I'm too young.
Do you know one friend? Name one friend.
Joey.
Yeah.
I was about to say, it wasn't Joey's like the
You
player
nailed
type.
it.
Yeah, he wasn't
Oh.
like the player type.
Joey loves ladies and
Yeah. Oh,
food.
I
Too much
definitely thought
singing.
you would have gone Phoebe.
Oh, I forgot about Phoebe. You know why I like Phoebe?
Why?
Because she was just kind of an airhead. And I like that. I
Seems like
walking
you know
around-
a lot about the show, Mr. Smith.
Hey. I've seen YouTube and TikTok clips. They brought back TikTok so I could scroll on those and get my information. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Episode 43. Hit a Rip
It's
City
already
wrap
over?
up. I know.
That was
It's
fun.
over. Danny Marang, Joe Simons, we'll be back with you again when the Blazers are on the road at my team, the Orlando Magic. See you guys soon. Episode 44 coming your way.